Good day, everyone. I'm very happy to give a talk on Lanfrica at the 2022 Open Source Festival. My name is Chris Emezwe, and I, with a couple more amazing people, brought the vision of Lanfrica to life. First, some motivation on the need of Lanfrica. Let's take some inspiration from the science domain. Statistics show that the amount of research ideas, papers, datasets, etc., being released as preprints has been increasing steadily. In other words, there has been and still is steady progress in the science domain. I asked myself, why is this possible? Why is it possible for these fields of science to advance? The simple reason is because there exist numerous platforms that catalog and archive these scientific papers, datasets, resources, etc. And so the takeaway from this, if you look at any domain of research, the medical domain, scientific domain, any successful domain, you will see that there is one or more established repositories to archive resources in that domain. For programming, it's GitHub, that is very known. For scientific papers, it's Archive. For machine learning, it's Papers with Code, Zindi, and a host of others. Now we're going to apply this to African languages, which have not been well represented in language technologies. Africa has more than 2,000 languages, but still is poorly represented in research and technological advancements. If you look on the right, the top, it's about number of papers with mentions of language X in blue and language Y in orange. We see that language X has a steady increase over the years, while language Y is just low and really, really down. Language X is Dutch, language Y is Somali. Another example is when you look down, you see Google Translate, Yandex Translate, and big tech translation engines, and you see that they have very a small number of African languages compared to other languages, and compared to the more than 2,000 languages we have. So this goes a great way to show the underrepresentation of African languages. The good news is that people, communities, researchers, organizations like the Open Source Community Africa are all trying to create African language resources to promote initiatives geared towards putting African languages on the map. The bad news is that all these efforts are scattered and not connected. This is why we have the problem of discoverability and reproducibility. We therefore need to keep track of them to make them easily findable and more useful. To give you a more concrete illustration of the problem, say I, a researcher in natural language processing, and I want to build an NLP language model for an African language, maybe for my master's thesis. Where do I go to know if such a model has been built already or not? In the same way, where can a general user, a linguist, or a government official go to get relevant information about resources or research available for a particular African language? The answer is Lanfrica, a central hub that connects the African language resources, making them easily discoverable. In comparing with some existing platforms, we see that only Lanfrica offers the opportunities of a centralized network with a focus on African languages. For instance, while Google search allows you to find general resources, information about things, there is more focus on English language and the languages of other developed countries like German, Spanish, French. So you cannot easily find relevant resources about many of our Nigerian or African languages. A personal example I had as a researcher was when working on building a speech recognition model for Igbo. I believed there would be many data sets on it, but I was shocked to find that there was no single public speech to text data set for Igbo and even most African languages. The few ones that existed in other African languages, they were scattered around on GitHub, Zenodo, Zindi, and other places. And this is the main reason why Lanfrica linking and connecting these resources really helps. Now, coming back to the same case study, say I want to build an NLP language model on, let's take Afrikaans for example. as a South African language, and I'm looking for existing works in that area. What do I do now? I can easily go to Lanfrica at www.lanfrica.com and filter the resources by Africans. Let me show you. So this is the landing page of Lanfrica. Here we can browse records to find Afrikaans resources and language modeling. So we currently have 107 records and counting, and each of the records is listed here. An important thing we did is to group or tag each resource by the language or languages that they work on as well as the task. We also have different record types. We have dataset, paper, media, software, model, projects, and we plan to add more based on the vision of Lanfrica. So back to my case study. I'm looking for resources in Afrikaans. I just click on Afrikaans and language modeling. And it filters the records and gives me records that have to do with Africans and language modeling. So this could be datasets, models, media, and I see all of them. So each record, just to give you an example, um, each record basically consists of the title, a short description, and a URL that points you to the original record where it's hosted. We do not host the record on Lanfrica. We only point to, and we link. An additional feature of our linking is having this language categorization as well as a task categorization that helps you to sort records by languages and understand in a nutshell which languages have more research than the others. For example, from this simple thing here, we can see that Yoruba, African, Swahili are some of the highly popular languages in terms of research, whereas some languages down the line, like Gwere, Nyoro, or Bamun, don't have so much work that has been done on them. We also support the ability to add records to Lanfrica because Lanfrica is a community-based approach to linking African language resources. So users can go to the contribute page and they can add records. There are also many other ways to contribute resources to Lanfrica. For example, if you're like an organization or a company with a bulk of you're a company with a bulk of resources, we can contact us directly either through Slack or through our email. If you're hosting an event that has many African languages, African language resources, you can contact us to host to help link these resources to Lanfrica. This would help improve discoverability because then a researcher who comes to the platform and is looking for works on Africans or Fon or Igbo or Yoruba Hausa can easily find them, and then there won't be reinventing the wheel. There will be more reproducibility, and that's it. We also have our Twitter, so feel free to join our Twitter to stay updated. Thank you very much.